The Hadley Learning Community is a £60 million PFI development in Telford, Shropshire. An extended school with integrated primary and secondary phases. It's a cutting-edge facility designed to be the school of tomorrow, today. The HLC is home to the relocated Bridge School, a community special school for 160 children with severe and complex learning difficulties. It will have nursery, primary and secondary facilities just like the mainstream schools on the site. It's been designed to exceed the latest government guidelines for building special schools, and it will open in January 2007.
The idea of a school like this is that the facilities are absolutely geared to the needs of children.
But it's getting that understanding of what their needs are that's been the most difficult thing of all to pick up.
We're drawing on expertise of her staff to say we're really struggling to either communicate with this child or to make sufficient progress with this child.
The existing Bridge Special School is on 2 sites in Telford. It wasn't purpose-built for children with profound learning difficulties. The accommodation is cramped and out of date. Medical intervention has led to increasing numbers of children surviving to school age.
We've been very aware of the changing needs of the population that has actually come into the Bridge. So, for example, we are getting many more children who have complex medical needs. And currently we have 1/3 of the school who carry a diagnosis of autism. And those are children who actually do present challenges.
Will played on the kit.
State-of-the-art technology deployed in drafty and inappropriate classrooms is the reality for staff at the Bridge at the moment. And there are desperate accommodation problems. Wheelchairs have to use a lift to get to first-floor classrooms, linked by long, narrow corridors. The traffic is appalling.
This area here, which is the only area where we can actually pass students through, and then if you go further down the corridor, there's no passing places. It actually has a huge impact in how we can deliver the curriculum and move students during the day, and big pressure on students and staff.
Morning.
With the Bridge taking children from a large area around Telford, many face a long bus journey every morning. So the last thing they need is a half-hour wait in the queue to unload. The relocating Bridge School is a significant part of the HLC. Its footprint covers 1/3 of the building, and the 3 fingers are physically linked to the mainstream schools and to the swimming pool, theatre and community provision. But head teacher Una Vanderberg had to fight quite hard to make sure she got a building that fully met the needs of her pupils.
I think it's important to understand that the physio and the treatment room are beside each other. Yeah. I think at the beginning they just thought that they were just building another bit of the Hadley Learning Community School, so to speak. But they began to understand that actually they were building a very special school and not just some sort of unit that was part of a mainstream school, and that was really important.
Una demanded larger classrooms to accommodate the teaching of children with a wide range of disability. Shared mobile hoists would go. Every class base should have its own. No lifts that could break down. All the rooms should be on one level. She wanted a school with its own governing body and its own facilities.
There was a big belief among people at the planning stage that we could actually use the facilities within the mainstream school for PE, for ICT, for music. Now, the idea of a school like this is that the facilities are absolutely geared to the needs of the children, because the children in this school very few of them will ever reach level 1. So actually getting our own facilities and ensuring that the school had those was hard. And it took a lot of persuasion.
The borough of Telford and Wrekin eventually approved plans for the school Una wanted, and she worked with the constructors Interserve to develop and refine the design. Specialist input from Una and her colleagues was essential.
We couldn't build it without them, without their help. Because it's all very well, we can build a school to any shape, form, using any kind of materials, to any details you like. But it's getting that understanding of what their needs are that's been the most difficult thing of all to pick up. And which is why, as soon as I was able to get involved, I got involved in trying to understand more what it was about. Because at the end of the day, the devil is in the detail. And it's getting that detail coordination right that's the hardest thing of all.
A colour scheme for the interior of the bridge school that fitted in with the corporate theme for the rest of the HLC was just one of the details for Una to discuss with the principal, Jill Eatough.
What we want is some connectivity through the building, don't we, through colour. So maybe the entrance area of SPLD, primary, community and secondary have something in common.
I'm more interested in the effect that the colour have in creating the ambience.
Yeah, I think that's
for children. That's my priority. See those colours for kids with ASD, just not going to work. And it's not just ASD kids, you see. We've got lots of children with visual impairments.
So you still have to have the subtle colours there. No strong colour.
These aren't the colours. I mean, I'd have to be looking at shades.
I mean, what is
shades, subtle shades. I'm absolutely going to make the children a priority about what they need.
Yeah, I'm no doubt about that.
The design process for the bridge school began more than 4 years ago. Government building guidelines at the time, BB77, were well out of date and were only redrafted last year. But the class bases at the HLC exceed the specification of the new draft building bulletin. The design was ahead of the game.
What you're actually looking at now, the space in the middle, is going to be quite a large soft play area. And obviously the one we've got now is very tiny. But just seeing it now with that huge roof light is just going to be so impressive. Much, much lighter than we thought it would be. And just a really exciting feature for us. But for the facility for the soft play and the circulation around it, it'll be absolutely fantastic.
A solution to the bus problem has been found. A turning space and a covered reception point would allow children to start their day a lot more relaxed.
This looks exactly what we thought it would look like from the very first work with the architects, from the very first drafts. Yeah. They've really kept this very true, and they really understood the issue of the number of minibuses.
With so much space in the new school, it's difficult sometimes to remember what it's all for.
That's the dual purpose room.
Yes.
That's the parents' room. That's got to be a toilet.
One of many.
That's the admin office.
Admin
and reception.
Reception.
That's my room. It's a lot bigger than what we've got now, isn't it? The meeting room. Second meeting room.
Lots of meetings.
That's the heating manifold. That's the curriculum storeroom.
Failed.
Laundry.
Fine.
That's the laundry.
And this is going to be the secure point for children.
Outdoor play spaces are an important feature of the new design. This one between foundation and secondary will have small breakout areas from the class spaces.
The very important thing in terms of the design of those has been getting the detail absolutely spot on so that A, they can't undo anything and hurt themselves, B, trap their fingers, C, climb over fences and consequently fall and hurt themselves. But it's still an area where they can just come out of the classroom space, come outside into the fresh air and feel secure and safe until they're more at one with themselves. And that sounds strange from a construction man to say that, but until you actually understand what that's about, you can't then guide the people who've got to actually make it and produce it in terms of coming up with the right design detail.
The teachers at the Bridge School bring to the HLC complex classroom skills. Staff are highly trained. Classes are formed on the basis of age, not ability, but the range of abilities is considered when planning for small group delivery.
Teachers in schools like this are great teachers because of the severity of learning needs that the children have. They have to be expert in many, many sort of facets of how children learn, but they have to have more than that. They have to have passion about their work. They have to be committed and they have to have great imaginations so that learning becomes interesting and challenging and fun.
Here's our tray of our chocolates and our marshmallows that we melted in the microwave. And they went all soft and runny. And now we've put them back in the cold. And are they hard or soft now? Good girl, Chloe, they've gone hard. What I'm trying to get over to the children is that materials can change when they get warm, and some materials will change back when they get cold, so they'll actually be the same, in the same state when they are cold as well.
It's physics, really?
It's physics, really, yes.
The expertise of Una Vanderberg's staff will be shared with the mainstream. The HLC's ethos is for all staff to learn from each other and to exchange ideas and techniques.
Things that we're particularly interested in are issues to do with how we support special needs children within the mainstream. So if we've got children with various degrees of autism, with maybe hearing, speech impairment or whatever, then we're drawing on the expertise of her staff to say we're really struggling to either communicate with this child or to make sufficient progress with this child.
It's about special schools and mainstream schools recognising each other's strengths and cross-fertilising in that way. Good inclusion is about each child being in the right environment, with the right facilities, the right staff to achieve the best they can.
Jill Eater wants her leadership team to benefit from the management skills that the leaders of the Bridge School can bring.
What I've talked to Una about is being part of our leadership team, and that has been a sensitivity because she's a head in her own right and I am this principal person. And I've talked to Una and to Heather about them coming to our leadership team meetings where we'll be thrashing out very strategic issues and looking at staff training. And Una is delighted to be involved in those and we'll be part of that.
So, in January next year, the new Bridge School will open for business. For Una Vandenberg and Heather Davis, it's the culmination of years of planning, and visiting the building site reminds them of the challenges they've faced.
We've actually been working on this for nearly 4 years. All the effort and the absolute work that we had to do to convince people that this was actually what we needed. We just kept on and on about it till we convinced people that. And I think
we were very anxious, weren't we? The first time we came round, we were extremely anxious because you think, what if it's not going to be right for the children? And it was just this sort of surge of relief, really, wasn't it? An emotion that said, yes, it is. It's going to meet the children's needs. Well, I don't know about you, but I've got shivers going down my back, literally.
Well, I can sum it up. The first time I brought these two ladies out, they burst into tears.
So, a few tears, but a lot of pride, now that the children of the Bridge School are finally getting the facilities they deserve.
the learning opportunities are going to be greater and that we already have a very good school and there's no miracles going to happen. It's just going to be so much easier and so much better.